going on, guys and gals, and welcome to Good Real Hunting. It's your boy Brad. The Brett Man's right over there. Today we got a special video for you guys. We had a special experience over the weekend. Birdie, myself, and Chris, we all went to go see Hans Zimmer live in concert. Really, one of those moments that I didn't know it even existed until a year or so ago, and I started seeing it on the interwebs and just really wanted to go. Once in a lifetime opportunity, maybe. And we went and checked it out. We came, we saw, and we're here to talk about that experience and rank the sequences from that concert as well.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. We've had many great once in a lifetime opportunities over the years. We had the ultimate underdog, the New York Giants, being the undefeated Patriots. That was once in a lifetime. We had John Cena versus The Rock once in a lifetime. And we also had the Hans Zimmer Live Concert. Like Brad said, I didn't even know it existed. He messaged me saying, dude, get these tickets right now before they sell out, before those prices go extraordinary high. So I am very appreciative, Brad, for having me jump on that train to go see this concert live. And I'll go ahead and let you all know easily this is the best concert I've ever been to. It's just something just extraordinary, definitely to celebrate an accomplished career. Pretty much, in my opinion, one of the Mount Rushmores of musical composers of all time.
Yeah, for me, as you know, is my favorite as well. And I don't think it's an experience that's really ever going to get topped. I mean, this is the kind of music that really just speaks to me. I just love every bit of it. I had, it was such a great night, such a wonderful experience. Hans Zimmer, he is my favorite composer for movies. I know John Williams gets talked about a lot, but I like the Hans style much more than what John usually brings. So it was awesome. Still kind of reeling it in. Overall, as an experience, I'd rate it a 10 out of 10, dude. I think it was just an awesome night. 3+ hours of just Hans, his whole crew, dude. International band, all the top people in all their fields, drummers and celloists, Birdie, and
the cello,
dude. It was the electric guitar, dude. It was fantastic. So, yeah, man, I can't get enough of it. I would absolutely do it again if the opportunity comes back. Yeah, it was something I'll never forget.
Yeah, absolutely. And Brad, I told you already, you cannot disrespect the Hans. A 10 out of 10? Are you freaking kidding me? It's a 20 out of 10 if you ask me. It's like you said, I just don't think this can ever be replicated ever again. Even if we go again, I just don't think it will ever get topped. I really, truly believe that. So that's why we thought it'd be a great video idea, because we haven't done one of those in a long time. So we appreciate you all being patient with us. We're going to freaking rank every performance of every movie that Hans Zimmer did at this particular concert, because we actually got to go to the very first concert of his tour that he's doing. So we're going to go ahead and rank those bad boys right now. So let us know, are you going to at some point of his tour, or are you what do you think about the whole score? What's your favorite score of Hans Zimmer? Let us know in that comment section down below.
Yeah, dude. And the way that it rocked out was, it wasn't just the regular, him doing the songs and that's done. You got the whole thing. There's a lot of bonus stuff here. It's really made for the concert. And obviously the big songs are all in there, but they're expanded, they're built upon. There's different versions, there's different riffs. I mean, it was really cool. But yeah, let's start with the first few we can kind of get through pretty quick and then kind of go from there. Okay, last place for me is Last Samurai. That was one that came on. I really didn't even know what this was when it came up. I mean, it was cool. I'll preface this. None of these were bad. It popped up, and this was fantastic. The music itself was great, but it wasn't something that I really recognized. I don't think I've ever even seen the movie. So, it was good. It was good music and stuff, but it didn't have that connection that a lot of these do. Man of Steel, to me, was next. This was one that I think it was just one song that he really played on the guitar. It was sexy. It was awesome. But again, I don't really love Man of Steel, not super connected to it. Number 10, Gladiator. Thought overall it was great, but they missed the main theme. It wasn't in there that I was really expecting. So, but the vocal work, fantastic. Number 9, Random as Hell, Dark Phoenix was one that he did. I thought, again, the music rocked. Never saw the movie, no connection, but it was cool. Now, starting all these other ones I've seen, I have different opinions on the movies. But here we go. Number 8, Dune. This was pretty heavily involved in this show. There was a moment at the very beginning. There was a moment right when he came back from the intermission, and then it had the vocal section there where they did some really cool theatrics with people in the crowd kind of, stepping up and doing, these theatrical things. Really cool stuff. It was surprising. I liked it a lot. I don't necessarily love Dune as a movie, but the score kicks a lot of ass. And It was a cool moment seeing that. Number 7 for me was James Bond, dude. No Time to Die. This to me probably would have been a little bit higher if it would have been a longer part of the show, but it was like the encore, so it was kind of short. And it was really just kind of playing the highlights. But there's a lot of music in that movie that I really love that didn't make it in the cut. My favorite moments were in here, though. For sure, it was awesome hearing the freaking orchestra play the fucking Bond theme. Such an iconic piece of music we got to hear there live. And lastly, for me, my number 6 is Lion King. I know, Bertie, this is probably going to be higher on your list. I loved it. It was cool. They had the original dude that did the vocals come in from the 90s. I thought that was really special. I'll let you talk more about that, though, as a huge fan of the Lion King. And there's my 12 through 6.
Nice, dude. That's super impressive. Again, like I agree with Brad. None of these are bad. It's just mainly on a preference scale for more than anything. And my number 12, Brad, I agree with you. It is Last Samurai. I didn't even know he did it. Brad thought it was freaking Kung Fu Panda, which
that was Chris. Chris thought it was.
Oh, Chris. That's right. Sorry. Chris thought it was Kung Fu Panda. And we were like, maybe, but that's kind of awkward. So that's why it's number 12. Still a good performance. The flute guy, Brad, the flute guy. Number 11 is Dark Phoenix. Hans Zimmer made a joke about it, like, hey, maybe my musical scores are great and all, but they don't always like match up well with the best movies. So yeah, the movie sucked, but the score and the performance that Hans Zimmer's did live for Dark Phoenix, awesome. Number 10, The Dark Knight. To me, this is one of the more disappointing ones for me because of the fact that I was wanting the traditional theme to be played, like to the original note and everything. But instead, they kind of did like a big guitar thing, like the ring, like it just kind of changed up the tone of the music. Still sounded really good, but sometimes original is better. Number 9 is Man of Steel. Kind of the same reasons for The Dark Knight, but I just like that whole electric guitar solo a lot better in that one than The Dark Knight. My number 7 is Gladiator. Again, wish I could move this a little bit higher, but like Brad alluded to, they didn't do the main theme of it. Even though if you're a Tennessee Volunteer fan, you hear that freaking song all the freaking time. But we wanted to hear we wanted the Hans to play that particular note, so it was a little disappointing. But the lady that does like the vocals of that soundtrack, she was there and she was awesome. And of course, my number 7 is going to be Dune. And the reason I liked about this is just, again, like the entire buildup, like Brad also alluded to as well, how the very beginning of the show opened up with a little bit of Dune, the coming back from intervention did. And then we heard, and then just shit went batshit crazy. Awesome performance. I was super entertained. And of course, my number 6, it's got to be Bond, man. Just hearing that traditional score and them just rocking out hard, going dun 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 dun. Oh, it kind of brings me back to that trailer from Casino Royale, seeing it for the first time with Bond. Like one of the best trailers of all time. And getting that music from that trailer to play live, spectacular. Number 6, Bond.
Dude, and Hans is, it's such a classic theme that's been around since the fucking 50s, but he elevates it, man. I'm telling you. Everything he touches turns to gold. I love it. Okay, I'll kick things off with my number 5, and that's going to be The Dark Knight. I thought it could have been better, but overall, it still kicked a lot of ass. I love the theme, like a dog chasing cars, and that's kind of one of the main pieces that was played here. And just seeing it with the light show that was going on, too, the way it was kind of bouncing off the people and stuff was really cool. Really dug it. It's a powerful piece of music, dude. I love the hell out of it. I jammed out to it today as well. I found the live playlist on Spotify. It was really cool. So I love that. It's really solid. It played some of the some of the other beats and stuff as well from the movie. Some of the the more kind of like the Joker themes and stuff. It was cool. It was awesome. I love that experience overall. But again, I think it could have been a little bit higher. It had it been expanded a little bit more.
Yeah, dude, awesome pick, and I respect that. And Brad, also do us a favor here in that comic section, or actually in the description. Let's put that playlist down. So if for some reason, if you've never heard of Hans Zimmer or want to know more about his work, you should check out that playlist from Spotify down below. Not official sponsor, but my number 5, Brad, is freaking Pirates of the Caribbean, man. Just that, like the whole build up to it, the cello girl, which I'm gonna gush over this cello girl. If you watch this video, you probably already heard me gush about it, even like in a live stream after the release of this recording. I'm all about this cello girl right now. She's the most beautiful person in the world. So if you're actually watching this video, cello girl, I love you so much. Please call me. But the actually hearing the actual theme song and just mixture of the lights and the blues and the screen going all water, it's like you got transported into that world of Pirates of the Caribbean with Jack Sparrow on top of the ship, just looking over the sea as his ship sinks. Dude, it's all freaking magical, dude. My number 5, Pirates.
That's my number 4. It had a big segment. This was played right before the intermission in the first half of the show. And it played, there were some of the more slower parts of the score that I really enjoyed. And again, I'm not a huge like Pirates fan either of like from the movies. But this music is incredible. It played off, it starts off with some of the slower, more romantic beats that's in that soundtrack. And then when it breaks into that main Pirates theme, dude, that place freaking exploded. At least not from like not necessarily from applause, but just the energy in there. It was just freaking
Yeah.
intense. I loved it. I mean, I thought that's when I was like, man, this is awesome. Actually, it was much sooner than that, which I'll talk about here in a little bit. But yeah, I loved it, dude. I thought again, I didn't have this one super high on my anticipation list going in, but it blew me away. That whole suite where they were playing, there's multiple parts of it. It was absolutely outstanding. It was really cool to see.
Dude,
Because they
hell
were
yeah.
freaking yamming it, man, up there, man. The cello, once you started
Oh,
playing at the beginning, dude, that slower beat, man, it was awesome.
Oh man, dude. Speaking of cello girl, that's a freaking nice segue because I thought a lot of people probably thought that Pirates was her like best cello performance. I actually think my number 4 is not only her best cello performance, not only to me the best like individual person performance, but my most underrated, most surprising score that they played in this concert. My number 4 is Wonder Woman. First off, I forgot that he did Wonder Woman and created the awesome iconic theme doing dun dun
Wonder
dun
Woman
dun
too.
dun 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 dun.
He didn't actually come up with that, but he did do the second movie and he elevated
Yeah,
it.
Elevate. Yeah, appreciate you for correcting me right there. But yes, but just it's such a surprise, and dude, that cello girl rocked so hard. I was like, I might need an early intermission if you know what I mean. But dude, I was so freaking into it, dude. Like, it was just so awesome. It just blew me away because I was not expecting it, and it was just badass from beginning to end throughout that entire performance. So, okay, movie, great score. Number 4, Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I think these next 3 are going to be really hard for me. But this is I'm ranking these as I appreciated them from the concert, not necessarily what I like more because there's a difference.
Mhm.
From the concert perspective, number 3 for me is Inception. Only reason is they only played 2 pieces of music from Inception. One was Mombasa, which opened the show, which was awesome. It was a really epic way to get things rolling. Everybody, it's basically like a warm up for the band because they were freaking everything was clicking on all cylinders. Very fast paced
Mhm.
piece of music, and then the closing, the very last thing he played was Time, which is one of the best pieces of music he's done. But that's it. There was a lot of stuff from Inception that was left out, so for that reason, I had it at number 3. But those 2 pieces alone, outstanding. The performances were great. The way that he had the damn little spinny thing up on the video screen when
Yeah.
he was playing it, that was really cool. So I loved the hell out of it. It was very powerful for me.
Very awesome, dude. My number 3 is going to actually be Interstellar, and I will kind of explain why it's at number 3 instead of number 2. I kind of did like a last minute switcheroo on this, but dude, the Interstellar one, I just watched a movie recently, so once the Han said like, "Hey, let's go to space," I knew what kind of freaking ride we were about to go on. And this to me probably was probably the second most cinematic performance, like when in terms of light, the players, and just everything that goes into that particular performance. They even had like a girl floating up in the air doing like freaking twirling and stuff, like just creating a whole space atmosphere. But dude, the score is so powerful, and it transports you immediately to the sad scenes of that movie as well. Maybe bursted a little tear after that, maybe just a little bit. But dude, Interstellar, it's just a freaking masterpiece, and that is like kind of like a soundtrack and a score that should be studied throughout time because it's just like it takes a team to make something so iconic, and they freaking nailed it with Interstellar, especially with this concert.
Hell yeah, dude. That's my number two, Interstellar. I thought the theatrics was fantastic. Like you said, you had that girl floating around on that sheet or whatever. That was crazy. But it was expanded. Like it was pretty long sequence. It started off with Cornfield Chase on the piano, and the background, the lights were illuminated, so it kind of looked like the sand, the dust falling in from the sky,
Mhm.
from that sequence wherever they're getting the coordinates to go to see our boy Alfred. It was that was really cool. I like the way the lights worked out there. Plus, they busted into No Time for Caution, which I love that freaking riff right there a lot. It's so good. But what really impressed me here was the vocals, man. They had some high. So when I watched this movie, the weird kind of like space tune that always pops up, the ooh, I never even realized that was vocals. I just thought that was a high pitch freaking some kind of instrument. I don't know. I don't know all the musical instruments, but I thought that's what it was. Turns out it's vocals. I was very blown away by it. I've never heard anybody get that high with their voice. I thought it was crazy. And that's not even a piece of music that I was really looking forward to seeing live, but it was really impressive. I
Mhm.
liked it a lot overall.
Hell
And
yeah.
just a side note, Interstellar for me is actually my favorite score from Hans Zimmer, but it made second
Ooh.
place here. But in general, it's my favorite score from Hans.
Oh man, Van, dude, number one's gonna be freaking excited to hear from you, dude. But my number two, I'm gonna go with Inception here. Like as like an overall performance, like I feel like Interstellar did a little bit more of a better, like just a performance. Inception only did kind of like what Brad you alluded to, just a little performance because it was kind of during the encore section. But dude, when it freaking went, it went hard, dude. Like it was freaking awesome. And I was like, damn, I want more of that because I felt like if we'd gotten a full segment of that, it would have easily been number one, even over my number one. And guys, it's me. You know what my number one is at this point. But just the last note Hans Zimmer did to finish it off with just a ding on the keyboard, that was the ultimate mic drop throughout the epic night. And that is still ingrained into my brain. So that's why it gets the little oomph for my number two.
Love it, dude. Number one, this is a huge surprise for me. I had no idea this was even going to be played. I had no idea this was going to be a part of the show. But it's Wonder Woman, man. You
Hey.
mentioned it. It was so good, and this was like the full opening segment, like the
Mhm.
full, like they played the Mombasa before this and the little segment from Dune, but this was the first time that he really just did like a 15-20 minute suite, and I was blown away by it. That's the moment I was like, I am in for a good fucking night because when they started, it starts off slow with the cello, and you know what you're getting into. That was the first time we saw the celloist up there. Starting to slay. They're rocking for a while, and then when it gets into that main beat, dude, they got all these freaking big ass drums back there, whatever they're called, and they're just freaking yamming them, dude. You got the whole. There's like a whole. It's all like ladies up there too, up on the stage, and they're up there just rocking out on the drums. They got freaking guitar. It was really cool to see, and it was just a lot of adrenaline up there. It was high energy. It was a really good way to kick this show off, and that was when I knew I was in for something special. Didn't think I would ever have that number one on here, but it was just such a cool thing to experience. I didn't get any recordings of that because I was just sucked into it. So it was really sweet.
Dude, I would have gotten a recording if my freaking flash didn't go off. I think Chris on right beside me go, dude, turn your flash on. Are you kidding me, man? Like, in a joking way, just so Chris being Chris. But dude, that's so awesome too. And just to add another note to that performance, so I'm glad you mentioned the women because it was like a more like all women performance right there. That's freaking how you do women empowerment, my friend. Like they just that whole performance just freaking scream women empowerment. I know for sure in that, and probably affected a lot of girls in that concert, saying, "Hey, I can be a badass like those girls were, especially that Cello girl." So Cello girl, here, what once again, Cello girl, all these hearts belong to you. Ah, all they belong to you.
It's getting
My
weird right
number
here.
one is going to be Lion King, of course, because this is just 8-year-old me just been waiting for all these freaking years to hear this live in concert. And I'll be honest, at one point I thought they weren't going to do it. I was kind of like looking over at Chris, like, dude, they're not going to do it, but it's okay. Still had a great time. Pennsylvania. And I was like, okay, we're ending this shit hardcore, dude. And it was nonstop, dude. They freaking did a great job. And Brad, I appreciate you letting me allow to say this, but the guy that did the whole Hazavania like that guy. He was actually there freaking singing it, and also sing actually one of the theme songs for The Lion King 2 of He Lives in You. And I thought that was a great surprise. It's a great song. But man, when once Pride Rock hit and that like ending score to end the movie of Lion King, dude, my just goosebumps all over my body, and freaking I'll admit tears were running down my face a little bit, dude. It was just something I like 8-year-old me has been waiting for my entire life, and dude, it did not disappoint. Number one, Lion King.
Love it, dude. Love it. And his daughter was up there too,
I
helping
know,
sing.
which
It was
was
awesome.
dude, which is
Yeah.
crazy, dude. And she was super talented in that sing as well. But yeah, that's freaking it, Brad. Anything else you want to say about the Hans Zimmer concert?
No, like I said, highly recommend. Couldn't recommend it enough. If you're any kind of fan of, I mean, really, you don't even have to be. This was just exquisite music being played live. Um, I would definitely, if you get the opportunity to take it, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, go to the Hans Zimmer Live Concert website to look at his scheduling coming up appearance. Like, even if it's like in the $300 range, I'll be honest with you, I still think it's worth going. So if you get a chance to go, it's near your city or it's an actual decent drive to go, I 110% absolutely encourage you to go.
Definitely.
Yeah, so but that's it from here. We've took enough of your all's time, so let us know what is some of your all favorite Hans Zimmer scores, or if you actually got to go to the concert as you're watching this video, what are some of your favorite performances? Let us know in that comment section down below. Let's get that discussion rolling.
And if you want to help us find the good reels, you can do so by finding us, and all of the links down below in the description are right there for you to find.
Absolutely. Until then, we will see you all for the next one.
Yes.
No!